Hey everyone, welcome back to BDG Reviews. Got something a little different today. I've been watching a bunch of videos of vinyl tag. The basic plot idea is ask, there's 20 questions, you answer them, then you kind of pass it on to the next person, and they answer the questions and pass it on. It's a game of tag, but with questions. So I thought, why not go for a horror version? So I've come up with horror tag. I don't know if this has ever been done before, and honestly never looked. So I've come up with 20 questions. I'm going to answer them to the best of my ability, then pass it on, and someone else can do it, and someone else, and hopefully we can get make a thing of this. It'd be kind of cool. So I've got these 20 questions. I'll leave them in the description below. So get right into them here. So number 1. What was the first real horror film you saw? Now, with this, I'm not counting pseudo-horror, I'm not counting, comedy horror, I'm not counting entry-level horror. So, no Poltergeist or anything like that, I'm talking, real, R-rated horror. For me, it was A Nightmare on Elm Street. First Nightmare on Elm Street, and I always remember it because, if hell is gonna age me right here, but if anyone remembers Columbia House, you used to get a set of stickers almost in the back of a magazine, and you could pull it out, and they were all little movie covers, and you cut them out and you stuck them onto this piece of paper. You sent it off, and you got 10 movies for free. Then over the next year or whatever, you had to buy another 4 or something. It was a good deal. I used to get those quite a bit. The very first one I picked up, Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and 2. I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I watched them then, and it sort of kick-started my love affair with horror. So there you go. Question 2. Show off a blind buy that became a favorite. That's quite easy for me. That is The Heretics. I picked this movie up at a convention, and I've fallen in love with it. I had no idea what it was about, really. Just thought it looked kind of cool. I love this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, find a copy. It's just awesome. So there we go. Question 3. Show your favorite movie given to you as a gift, or from a friend sort of thing. The thing with this is it has to be a gift given to you, not something a friend has recommended and then you went out and bought. Something that a friend has actually sent you. For me, I'm going with Clown. My buddy Corey sent me this. This is crazy expensive over here. At least it is everywhere where I looked. It was looking like $53. So my buddy Corey sent me a copy. Great flick. There you go. Now, question 4. Worst trend in horror today. This one it's a bit of an interesting one because some people are obviously going to throw out remakes and PG-13 horror. That's all been done before. I'm going to go with something a bit different, and that is I'm going to go with companies re-releasing movies without bothering to remaster the picture again. I'm looking at you, Scream Factory. If you're gonna put out a special edition of a movie that came out within the past 5 years or whatever, you need to do a new scan of the movie. I purposely stayed away from buying Scream Factory's Green Inferno simply because it's the same scan as was on the old Universal or MGM or whatever disc. It was the same scan, so I was like, I'm not bothering picking it up for the same scan. If you're expecting us to pay, $25 to $30 for a Blu-ray, give us a new scan or something to make it worthwhile. Yeah, so number 5, most overrated horror series. I decided to go with series because a single title is a bit too easy. I always throw out The Shining. Because I always find it overrated. But For series, I'm gonna go with Paranormal Activity. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people probably feel the same way. I mean, the first one was awesome, and then they just kept doing the same thing again and again and again and again and again. Uh, it quickly got old. So, and people still love it. You know, they're like, oh, it's like a really scary series and everything. Like, not really, not anymore. So there you go. That's for me. Okay, most overrated. 6. Show off or name your favorite horror soundtrack or score. For me, that's quite easy, and that's Hellbound Hellraiser 2. I actually like it a bit better than Part 1, and Part 1's a masterpiece. But I don't know, everything sounds just more full in the Hellbound soundtrack. I'll take that for what you will. Okay, 7. Your best memory of seeing horror in the theater. For me, that's always... It's one in particular. I went and saw Halloween H2O, and I saw it in the theater with my grandfather. I took him to see it. It was just a really fun time. It's just one that always sticks with me. You know, and the fact that, there's that scene where they're walking through like the kitchen, and they find some blood, and they're like, "What's that?" Someone in the audience shouts out, "It's Kool-Aid." And honestly, it was just a perfect little memory. I really kind of dug that, so it always sticks with me. Any horror tattoos? Yes. My lament configuration there, and well, I guess you could call it sort of horror. My elder sign. Yeah. I know a lot of people have a lot more. I just got kind of the 2, but show them if you got them, right? Next up, favorite foreign horror film. This one's a bit difficult for me because I like a lot of foreign horror. I have to say probably my all-time favorite foreign horror film is Kwaidan, or Kaidan, however you want to pronounce it, from Japan. It's beautiful, and the Criterion release is magnificent. Just an all-around good movie, and my cat is trying to eat me right now. Dude! Seriously, I'm trying to make a video. This is becoming an ongoing thing. Okay. Next question. Favorite poster art, both modern and classic. So this is essentially what I'm going for. A movie from back in the day, a modern movie. Just like it says. For classic, I'm going with, obviously, you can see it in the background right there, the original Halloween poster. I love it. It's classy. It's just kind of cool. Always dug it. And for the modern flick, I'm going with It Chapter 1. There's just something about that cover with the balloon and Pennywise just handing it over that was kind of awesome. And again, we have a visitor. Hello? Dude, I'm doing nothing. Why are you trying to eat me? Stop it. Okay, so that's it. Question 11. A blind buy you instantly regretted. If anyone's watched my channel for a long time, they will know that is Toolbox Murders 2. That movie is an abomination. Dude, people don't want to see that. Knock it off. And it was through Scream Factory, so I paid like $27 for it at the time, and I loathed it. And I've only seen it the one time. I sold it as soon as I could. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe it's just due to the fact I paid nearly $30 for it and I found it to be a piece of crap. I don't know. All I know is the effects were awesome, but the movie was horrible. So yeah. Next, number 12 is favorite company for physical media. So, of course, Blu-rays, DVDs, and everything. I am going with Unearthed Films. I love unearthed films, and they've been such like a class act recently. I mean, there was that whole if you don't know, recently they did a thing where they sold a bundle that came with like a John Wayne Gacy letter, and it was discovered that the letters were actually like copies of letters. They weren't the actual things. So Stephen Bureau went out of his way to get the real thing and ship it out to everyone that had ordered that particular release and everything. I just think that's the sort of company that you want to do business with. They're looking out for the fans. And from what I've seen, they've been doing it again recently with like the whole gutter balls things, and apparently like honor the Indiegogo things and everything. So that's damn cool. And as a result, they're probably my favorite company. Question 13. Favorite horror novel that's not by Stephen King. I've purposely done this because Stephen King, everyone knows, is a master of horror. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows Pet Sematary. Everyone knows The Shining. So, something different. I'm going with Clive Barker's The Damnation Game. I thoroughly enjoyed that book, and I would recommend it to anyone who's a fan of horror. It's just awesome. Number 14. An existing non-horror franchise that could work as a horror film. My examples are Star Wars and Teletubbies. So you see what I'm going with. I'm going with an easy one. I'm going with Batman. We need a Batman horror movie. They're like hand in glove. I don't see how it hasn't been made yet. So there. Number 15. Create your perfect Jason. Essentially, this, everyone's done this. They thought like what would be like the most badass Jason, and so let's go for it. My perfect Jason would have for one, it would be Kane Hodder playing him. That's like just a given. He'd have like the wispy like hair and everything of the one from part 2. It would have the mask from Jason Goes to Hell. Dude, stop it. So, like the dug into the flesh and everything. It would have like the kind of like exposed spine and stuff. Probably like a part 7, without being zombie, And probably, I don't know, like the speed and everything of like part 4. So, so it wouldn't be like a slow lumbering Jason. You'd have a pretty fast moving one. Okay, next up. Name something that you would love to see made into a movie. So like a book, a TV series, comic book, whatever. I'm going with Dead Space. The games are awesome. And honestly, it's another one that's just begging to be made into a feature. Yeah. Name a guilty pleasure. So, a horror movie that, everyone knows what a guilty pleasure is. This is a bit of a tough one for me because I like a lot of, crap, I will say. I'm the sort of person that enjoys, like, Sharknado and stuff like that. So there's not much that's really a guilty pleasure. All I can really think of would be the miniseries of The Shining. A lot of people really hate it. I really dug it, honestly, and that's just how it is. Next up, show a movie that you can watch over and over again. American Werewolf in London. It was sort of a tie between this and Return of the Living Dead, but I just thought American Werewolf. It's a classic. We got the new Blu-ray coming out from is it Arrow? I think it's Arrow. or it might be Scream Factory, one of the others. But I'll be picking that up. Question 19, best genre mashup. Now, there's a lot of different genres that work really well. Sci-fi and horror work really well. Horror and comedy work really well when done right. But I'm going to go with one that's not regularly talked about, and that's Western horror. I always think it's such fertile ground there, you like a time when, there is no modern conveniences, and everything, there's no phones or anything. It's just all set in the Old West. It's not often done, but it's cool when it is, and there should be more of it. And here we go. Last question. Band or musician that you would love to see create the soundtrack for a horror film. The one I'm going for this is, it's sort of a twofold. I'm going with Emperor, but also Isan or whatever, the main guy, because he does his own stuff as well. But they would come up, I think, with a really kick-ass score and soundtrack, and the fact that their music is already melodic enough unto itself would just lead to it being a really cool soundtrack, I think. So yeah, there we go. 2019 horror tag. I'll tag my buddy Corey. And I'll probably put this up on Facebook groups and everything, so if you're interested, if you make a video, leave it in the comments below, or depending on where this is, on Facebook, whatever, leave a link so we can all see it. Otherwise, yeah, let's make this be something. It'd be kind of neat. That's it for now. See you next time.